So Comfycozy started when our little girl, she was at the age of 9, was diagnosed with leukemia. And so we did different clinical trials for 3 years, trying to, find that cure. And it was very difficult, painful. We spent a lot of our time in the hospital, and just the family dynamics, and trying to take care of our other 2 daughters, and the amount of money and the income that we lost. It was just a very trying time. And then we finally got to that day where there was no more evidence of cancer, and we had been there for 3 years, and we finally got to the place where we could celebrate. And we had a no more chemo party. And I was actually got to be able to go back to work, and just 3 months later, Amanda started getting a headache again, which freaked me out because that's what had happened the first time. And so I took her to the pediatrician, couldn't find anything. I brought her home, got her all snuggled into my bed, and about 45 minutes later, she went paralyzed on the left side of her face. And we rushed her down to the hospital, only to find out that one of the clinical trials she was on, one of the side effects could cause secondary cancers, and Amanda was diagnosed with a brain tumor. But during the second time, Amanda was 12, and she was quite the veteran, and she had levels of dignity that she wanted, and respect, and she wanted to participate in her care, and she wanted to collaborate with everything that was going on with her school life and her cancer treatment. So, we always said, my God, she's like just this wise old soul, like she had goals and expectations, and you better know her name when you walked in the room, things like that. And God help the person that didn't know her name or read her chart before they walked in the room, because she would make it very clear that they had to leave and know. She didn't like answering unnecessary questions. But during that second time, she was 12, so we really had the issue with her body being exposed. All the kids were lined up in the chemo room, and she didn't like anybody being able to see her body. She was quite, a very modest little girl. So that drove her crazy. The hospital we were in was a training hospital, so you had interns coming and college students coming in, and that constant lifting of her shirt drove her crazy. So she started having dreams about this little peekaboo apparel with these secret compartments and slits on the side for her feeding tubes and her blood lines, and her antibiotics and her port lines. And so that was like the thing we were going to do someday is, when she beat cancer again, we would start making these Comfycozys for chemos, these little, adaptive apparel, for all of the different lines that she would have. And going into transplant, we're talking 12, 20 lines, coming out of her body. So having that dignity and modesty was critical for her. But unfortunately, the cancer spread very quickly throughout her body. When she went in for transplant, we discovered that the cancer was in about 80% of her body. And no hope. They were like, there's nothing we can do. They gave her a couple of weeks to live. And Amanda always wanted to go to the Vatican and go on a gondola ride. My sister did a fundraiser at work, and the community came together, and we were able to take her to Italy for that vacation, and that we called it her angel wish. But when she came home, she got really sick, and she was we were at the Ryan house, and that's when she held my hands and said, "Mama, look at me with both eyes, listen to me." I'm like, "Amanda, don't you use your mama's words against me," because that's what I used to say to her. And she's like, "No, Mom, I'm serious. Promise me that you're going to help every child fight cancer. That not everybody has a mama like you. You need to promise me you're going to help every child." And reluctantly, I made that promise. And not much after that, she went to be with the Lord in heaven. And I always say, for whatever reason, I gave birth to an angel. She taught me a lot of lessons about love and grace, caring for your community. She couldn't even walk by a homeless person without trying to feed them. She just taught me a lot. In her 12 years, she literally lived more life than a lot of people I know in their 60s.